What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Brad, Elden Ring really does have a hold on me, and I don't know when I'm going to be free from it.
I haven't been able to play it as much as I would like to, because I'm also balancing Gran Turismo simultaneously, and I'm playing a lot of Gran Turismo, which is unfortunate, because every time I do play Elden Ring, it remains, remarkably engaging. And when I'm done playing Elden Ring, and especially like if I play it right before I go to bed, I then spend the next hour thinking about Elden Ring and just like thinking about different things to do and try. I'm still super early into the game. I just ventured down into the Sophia Riverwell to actually do stuff in there for the first time. Not sure what I'm supposed to do because I already met up with Blythe and he's just like, oh, you can go do something else if you want. I'm like, but it seems like there's a lot to check out down here. Like, I feel like I want to see what's going on.
There is a lot to check out down there. I didn't get, it's so weird because you say you're early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much not early in the game. But I only just unlocked that area because I'm like, I don't want to progress too quickly. And I need to like level up and do other stuff. So let me go back to this quest. And I only just unlocked that area.
See, we're just playing in different sequences then, basically. So
yeah, man, yeah. But I finally beat a boss that is really, really annoying. Right, like the bosses in Elden Ring, like I said last time, like they're not difficult in a sense that's like I can't figure it out. I know what to do, but the bosses hit like trucks. And in this specific case, every time this boss, it's an optional boss, but she has a katana, and I'm on a quest to get every katana. Every time she hits you, she siphons your life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a weird push and pull. I've done this a couple times, and then I'm like, all right, well, I gotta try something else because like I can't really rely on the kindness of strangers because not everybody. I did once, and that person just Leroy Jenkins themselves, and and they just all they did was feed her health.
I feel like that's an anomaly. Like obviously, like you can't predict who you're going to end up with, but I've had more success, with randos than you would imagine that I have in this game. So
yeah, I usually do, but this particular person, I'm like, all right, like we gotta kind of, and there's no speaking, right? So it's kind of like an unwritten rule, like, all right, like if I bring you in here, you know how the fight is, like let's go, right? And they just run headfirst into the giant woman with the giant sword, and it's just yeah. So I had to get an Ash of War that kind of mimics your character. So basically there's two of you, and then I had to level that up, and then I had to level my sword up, and then it's just like we got to be relentless, and you can't and you got to hope that your mimic is like goes all in because like you don't want the mimic to be like a food source for her,
right?
You know what I mean? So, but I finally did it. I wanted to do it before Johnny, but he beat me to it by a day. Son of a bitch. Yeah, man, I'm having fun just like killing bosses, man, because now I'm uber powerful, right? I'm not uber powerful, but I'm pretty fucking powerful. I'm like level 192 or some shit like that. Like I'm not afraid to go anywhere now. I still might get my ass handed to me, but I'm not afraid to go anywhere. I'm not gonna get one shot.
Got that health bar that's stretching across the screen now, and
yeah,
all those
man.
shit. So
yeah, man, I got a bunch of talismans that siphon health from enemies when I hit them and when I kill them, and yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you, game. No, I'm not afraid of you, game. Not afraid.
Well, see, and that fortunately for me, like I can stay with it for like a long chronological time, just because I am kind of pacing my way through it a little bit. But I'm the same way with GT, man. Like when I get sucked into GT, I have had multiple sessions so far in GT7 where I have just played for like 4 or 5 hours in a row, which for me is abnormal. Like I'm normally not able to sit up and be in one place for that long. Game's really good, man. feels good, controls well. There's a lot of stuff to do. Haven't, like I said, I still need to venture into the online stuff a little bit more than I am right now. I get tilted in GT Online because there's always like one or two people that race like assholes that race like this is fucking Forza, and it's not. And so like when someone like when you're on like a fucking like on a good lap, and someone just like bumps you around a corner and you spin, like it sends you on make a tilt like immediately. Because it's stupid. Because it's usually someone like dive bombing you that has no chance of making the corner, but they think that somehow they have like magic braking ability that they can come stop on a dime and turn on an even tighter dime. It's insane. It's insane to me.
Well, it's all arcade racing, man. Like people.
But it's not arcade racing. Like,
no. I'm not saying GT. I'm not saying GT is. I'm saying it's all the arcade racing that gamers are accustomed to, right? Like they're not used to simulation racing, right? Mm-hmm. Because, like, I don't know much about racing, but my wife is from just outside of Daytona, and we were gonna go to this NASCAR thing, and it's. Like there's a science to it, man. It's not just like people just run, looping around a track. Like it's a team sport, and there's different skills that are needed. But people aren't used to that. People are used to burnout. Woo!
Well, and that's the struggle. Since I'm not good, like I'm in like the lower ranks, and GT also has like a sportsmanship rating, right? So like. If you drive like a goddamn fool, like your sportsmanship rating will get knocked down, so you'll only get paired up with other drivers that also drive like morons. But it takes time to get there, and you don't have to earn your way to a good sportsmanship rating. Like GT operates under the premise that people are good in nature, and you have to show them that you are evil, which is wrong.
Japan. Oh, Japan.
Yeah. And so, it's so like I've been. And it's always, like I said, it's always one lap, and it's usually towards the end of the race, so that makes it even matter when you're racing for a specific position. So, but I just need to get into it more. I need to do more online racing because you get too used to the computer, and the computer can drive like an asshole sometimes, but they do it in very selective ways. But they're also easier to catch back up on than a normal human player is typically. I might as well mention this now. I was going to talk about this later in the show, but we talked, GT drew a lot of folks' ire last week because they decreased the payouts of a lot of races and, combined that with the microtransactions in the game, and a lot of people weren't happy. Well, they listened. They released a blog post on the PlayStation blog that talked about some of the things that they're going to change in the game. First, I'm sorry to everybody. They gave all players a free 1,000,000 credits to use in the game. You had to have played the game before March 25th to earn these, and you have to claim them by like April 26th or something like that. But I got my free milli in my bank account, which I appreciated. But they also said that they wanted to be more transparent about the updates that they have coming for the game. They said that in early April, they're going to be rolling out a patch that's going to increase the credit totals for a lot of the events in the game. They said they're also going to increase rewards in the events in the latter half of the World Circuit. So the World Circuits are some of the later races that you run up against that are like series races, where you're racing multiple times in a row. They're going to be raising the payouts of those events by up to approximately 100% on average. So basically doubling those payments for those circuits. They're going to have additional high rewards for clearing the circuit experience with gold and bronze results. So circuit experience is basically you can learn, they take you corner by corner through each track, so you learn how to race on each corner correctly, and then like you put it all together with a whole lap, and it's all like timed, and they have like goals that you're trying to shoot for. It's kind of like the license test, but specific to each track in the game. It's going to increase the payout for online races, which is enormous because right now online races don't pay out for shit. They're going to be adding 8 new 1-hour endurance races to missions. Missions are, they are what they sound like. They're like one-shot missions that you can do in the game. So they're going to add some endurance races there. They're going to increase the upper limit of non-paid credits and player wallets from 20 million to 100 million credits. Yeah, that's the other thing too. So your wallet caps out at 20 million earnable credits in the game, but you can have up to 100 million credits that you buy with real money. So they're increasing the unpaid wallet to 100 million as well. And then they're also going to increase the quantity of used and legend cars that are available at any given time. So usually there's 20 used cars and 5 legend cars that are available at any one time. So they're going to bump that up a little bit. And then they said down the road, they're calling these near-term updates, but they're not giving any specific dates. They're going to increase the payout of limited time rewards. They're going to add additional World Circuit events. They're going to add additional endurance races to the missions, including the 24-hour races, which a lot of people like to have in the game, even though I can't fathom performing those unless I can do it broken across several sessions somehow.
I was about to say, how does that work, man? How does that
work? Either you do it in tandem with people, or you sit there for 24 hours and race.
On, man.
I mean, it's a mission, so you can pause it. So I guess you could pause it and just kind of leave it in suspension. But still, that's a lot of racing. They're going to add online time trials to the game, and they're going to also let you sell your cars, which is something that's been in other Gran Turismo games, but for some reason was not included in this one, at least to start. Which will help some of the issues, because obviously in that game you get a lot of cars that you earn through different rewards that you don't necessarily care to have because, there's other cars you want. So
yeah, nobody wants a Ford Focus when they got a Bugatti in there.
Excuse me, sir. My Focus RS is one of my favorite cars in this game that I have been fucking tearing up the track with. That I have tuned up to a 700. PP car at this point that has that has fucking 350 horsepower and can go 200 miles an hour. So take your Focus slander out of here, you fucking non-American buying piece of shit.
I stand corrected. Nobody wants what was that hatchback Hearse thing from
the hatchback? Like a PT Cruiser.
Yeah, nobody wants a.
There's no PT Cruiser in the game. There's one Plymouth. I don't remember. It's a classic model though. I don't know what model it is off the top of my head.
Nobody wants a PT Cruiser when they got a Ford Focus in their garage.
That's so funny because my wife owned a Ford Focus once upon a time, and her mother owned a PT Cruiser once upon a time. Ironically enough. But see, that's what I love about Gran Turismo, man. You get you develop these relationships with the cars in the game, because you tend to not race with every car you get because it's not cost effective to do that because you have to tune cars up to meet different parameters and different races that you're doing. Yeah. So you tend to find 5 or 6 cars that you really vibe with, and they feel special to you in a way that is not the case in Forza, where because they're just shooting cars out of cannons at you every 15 minutes. There's always something new to try. So, while we're talking about PlayStation, the much rumored PlayStation Plus update has finally been revealed by Sony. Even though it's not going to be rolled out until June, for some reason they felt the pressure to reveal it now. I feel like they could have waited till E3 time for this and done a state of play, but whatever. So before we get into what's in these packages that they're offering, I have to bitch and complain about something. People out there and legit journalists out there are covering the story as dishonestly as they possibly can, and it annoys me. It annoys me. So we knew, right? We knew that Sony wasn't going to they weren't going to pull a Microsoft and make all of their first party games available day and date on this service. Right? We knew that. Everyone knew that.
I'm still amazed that Microsoft is still doing it, to be quite frank.
Correct. So we knew that wasn't going to happen, right? And yet, when this news dropped, and sure enough, that's not what happened, people still got upset about it. The same people that were like, "Oh, there's no way Sony's going to put them in there." When this news dropped, they were like, "I can't believe Sony didn't put their first party games in there."
Right.
And a lot of the lead headlines that I've seen around this announcement have been Sony, not including day one games with the new PlayStation Plus update. That's not what the story's about. Like, you can certainly mention it in the story, and it certainly bears mentioning, but that's not the headline. You can even make it the strap line if you want to. But the headline
the headline is that this thing exists now.
Right. Like, that's idiotic to me to sit there and automatically lead with what it doesn't have, and we knew it wasn't going to have it. We knew it wasn't going to have it. And I guess that's the PR win for Microsoft for doing this, is that automatically, like, your service is the thing that everything else is going to be compared against. And if it doesn't do exactly what you're doing, then it's going to be considered a letdown.
Right.
But it annoys me. It annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like I said, that doesn't necessarily detract from what this. Well, it doesn't detract from what this is. Like, this is, and the other one, the Game Pass, is what it is. But there are. So I'm very curious. Let's go through it.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus Essential is the lowest tier. It's basically PlayStation Plus as you know it right now.
It is exactly what PlayStation Plus as you know it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it? It's $10 a month or $60 a year.
Yeah.
As per usual. PlayStation Plus Extra gives you additional access to a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are, in fact, downloadable for play. That is $14.99 or $99.99. That is the price that Game Pass Ultimate is. And then PlayStation Plus Premium.
Well, it's the price the Game Pass Ultimate is, not including the fact that you can get the PlayStation Plus tier at a cheaper annual or quarterly rate, which Game Pass does not offer.
Yes. Game Pass does not offer that, which, I mean, I get it, but
they don't need to.
Right. They don't need to. So that's the big difference there. But one of the big differences. And then PlayStation Plus Premium gives you all of that, plus an additional 340 games from the PS3 and PS2 catalog,
and original PlayStation and PSP apparently.
Okay,
so.
As well as a bunch of cloud services, the PS2, PSP. Those games will be played in the cloud. And limited time game trials are offered in this tier. So you can play a demo, or I would suspect a time-locked version of, a full-fledged game. And if you like it, then you can buy it, and I would assume keep your progress. Mm-hmm. That's $17.99 a month or $120 a year. Is this something for... I got to tell you, I don't think I'm going to take advantage. I don't think I'm going to get this outside of the basic tier. Is this something that interests you? You are a PlayStation. PlayStation is your preference. You are a connoisseur of video games. But are you the type to go back and want to play older games to the point where you are willing to pay this much for it?
So here's the rub. So first of all, my overall thoughts on the offerings on hand. I am perfectly whelmed with this offering.
Yeah.
I like I said, it's about. I mean, it's exactly what was reported on by everybody. First of all, like all the reports that came out in the weeks previous got this bang on the money. They didn't know pricing, but they knew what the tiers would be. I'm perfectly whelmed. I think it's good value for money. the pricing is in line, right? Like, so 120 a year is the highest price point. Obviously, is $17.99 a month cheaper than, or more expensive than Game Pass Ultimate? Yes. But who's going to pay that $18 a month? Like, you're going to buy it yearly. Like to me, that's a no-brainer. So in that case, it's the same price as Game Pass by itself is, and it's $60 cheaper than Game Pass Ultimate. Okay. So it's tough for me, right? Because I usually am like you and I like playing the new hotness, but there's occasionally, a game that I go back to that I missed for some reason or another somewhere along the way. A great example of this would be like Ghost of Tsushima would probably have been a game that would have been on this service around the time that I was looking to play it, I would imagine. So that would have been good value for money. When I eventually want to get around to Demon Souls on PS5, that will probably be available through this service, and make it worthwhile to play. The way I kind of look at it is, I'm paying $60 a year now for PlayStation Plus. It's an extra $60 a year to have access to all these games. That's essentially the price of one new video game. And am I going to get one new video game's worth of value by having this stuff? Chances are pretty good that I will, in most cases. So I at least probably see myself getting the extra, where you can get, the back catalog for PS4, PS5. But if you're going to get the extra, you might as well spend the extra $20 to get the premium, right? To get the retro games and all that jazz.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the yearly pricing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the yearly pricing is actually it's laid out pretty well. It's pretty good incentive. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this catalog is. I'm very curious to see what this catalog is, because in my personal situation, like, I tend to only buy I try to only buy games that I have a feeling I really, really am going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Or people that I buy games that, like, that if you tell me something's good and you think I would like it, I'll buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't know. I need to see this back catalog, because I feel like I got everything I needed out of my PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't see myself going back. And if I do see myself going back, I already have Game Pass.
Well, but so here's the thing as well, and people don't mention this a lot, and I'm surprised they don't. And I didn't really think about it until recently as well. So Game Pass, you get all the Microsoft games, first party, yada yada. That's all well and good. But when you look at what Game Pass has done so far with what they've offered, think about some of the other games, Outriders when it first came out, The Ascent when it first came out, Nobody Saves the World when it first came out. These were all games that were available day and date with Game Pass that you could get as part of your subscription. Just because we're not going to have Sony first-party games available on day one on the service, why can't they make third-party games available on day one on the service? Why can't they go the same route as Microsoft and say, hey, we want to cut you a deal to make this third-party, this new downloadable game, or this new indie game, available on our system as part of our subscription service, because we want you to play it on PlayStation.
It is that, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's wild speculation.
It is wild speculation. Yes.
And until there is a report that says something, I'm just going to assume that there is a dedicated back catalog of things that are first and third party. And I don't know. It just, I enjoy Game Pass enough that I'm not paying for two services.
Yeah.
Can't.
And to be fair, like Game Pass for me is very, like, it's such a good value for money at the month-to-month price. Like, if they had a yearly price, I would probably do the year at a discount.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that.
Right. But the fact that I'm only using my Xbox for Game Pass means that I don't have a problem getting that month to month, because I can just buy it when I want to use it and then I don't have to worry about, like, I can cancel it. Like, I haven't had my game ever since Elden Ring came out. I haven't had my Game Pass subscription active because I don't need to worry about that right now. Like, I'm playing my PlayStation right now. If I wanted to play my Xbox, then I'd, re-up my Game Pass subscription and play whatever on there. So that's good to be there while I need it. For me, like, for the PlayStation, I don't know. I guess just having, for an extra $60 a year, just having the option to go back and check this stuff out, I feel like is a tempting thing, especially like the PS1 and PS2 stuff, because there's a lot of games that I haven't played in a very long time, and a lot of games that I never played, especially on PS2, because I was in my, like, when the PS2 was in its heyday, I was in my, like, all I play is sports games phase that I missed out on a lot of really quality titles that I might like to check out if they end up on the service here.
I got you. So all in all, I think what's on offer here, trying to exclude myself from this, I think all in all, what's on offer is a pretty solid deal. The whole thing about Sony's first party titles not being on there, like, I get it, but at the same time, those games are good enough to buy, man. Like, they really are.
And that's the thing. Like, people are like shocked that PlayStation's not doing this. And I'm like, bro, like, Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one, sold 20 million copies.
Yeah, man.
Like,
ain't giving that away, man.
Like, for a brand new IP that for many years was only available on one platform, which was a console, and then it came to PC. But they sold 20 million copies of that game.
Yeah, man.
Why are they going to give that up? That doesn't make any sense. And, like, Jim Ryan came out there and was like, oh, like, if we did this, it would hurt the development of our first party games and yada yada. I don't necessarily believe that per se. But just from a bit, like, he could have come out in there and said, we're making money hand over fist with these games. Like, why the fuck are we gonna not sell them for $60?
What you gonna do? Yeah. Not buy God of War?
not buy Spider-Man 2?
Right.
Yeah.
We're not doing it because we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's insane that there was anyone that actually thought that they might. Like that they think that Game Pass is such, like, this fucking unbeatable deal that, like, everyone's going to follow suit. No, not everyone's going to follow suit. Microsoft did that because they have to. That's not, Microsoft wouldn't have made that choice if they didn't have to do it. Microsoft did it because it's the only way for them to get back in the game and to get in fucking pantsed over the course of an entire console generation. I mean, they got outsold more than 2-1 last generation.
It changed their entire business model, right? Like, they had to do something, and they had to do something drastic, right? And look, to their credit, it's a wild gamble, but apparently it is a big success. But
well, and again, they had to supplement that gamble with, $100 billion of studio acquisition money as well.
Right.
Like Game Pass wouldn't be the unreal value that it is without, here comes Starfield, and here comes Elder Scrolls 6, and and eventually Call of Duty, and God only knows what. It wouldn't be that amazing of a deal if it wasn't for all these other games. If you just had Microsoft's first party studios, it would have been a pretty good deal. But I'm sorry, we haven't yet seen the output from them at a quantitative level. Like, they put out some quality games so far, but as far as the amount of games that have come out so far from those studios, hasn't been that high. And we're hearing bad news about Perfect Dark and all that other stuff. Like, that's not good. That's not good news.
Look, the only reason that I bought Game Pass was because I wanted to play Gears, and I didn't know how long I would play it, and I didn't want to dish out $60 to $70 for it. And that's when I finally broke down and got this. But Game Pass had been around for a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
Game Pass had been around for a while, and I was just like, I do not see myself getting this. I'm not paying a service for games that I'm not going to play. But but the only reason it got there was because of the first party thing. And like you said, if they didn't have to, they wouldn't have. No. But they had to, because they had to get somebody like me to do it.
Gears 4 sold really bad. I just have to make sure everyone is aware.
It was really bad.
Like, yeah, well, and I mean, compared to the other games in the Gears series, like, it was bad. I mean, I can tell you anecdotally, like I don't think they ever released actual sales figures, but from an anecdotal standpoint, I remember when that release came, and I, working at GameStop, and the store that I was working at. Now, not that I wasn't at a busy store, but this was a store that got like 150, 160 Call of Duty reserves on average. You know how many Gears of War 4 reserves that store had? 13. I'll never forget the number. Never forget the number. 13. That ain't good. That ain't good. That, I mean, again, that's one store, but that's a trend. That's a trend. So yeah, Microsoft did that because they had to do it, and it is a little unfair to expect Sony to give that money away just because their competitor did it. Trust me, if they had to, like if the sales all of a sudden went downhill on PlayStation consoles and those PlayStation games, they would absolutely do it. Miles Morales, I want to say, like, I can't remember how many it sold, but it was a fucking lot. Like Miles Morales apparently has been attached to, like, I don't know, like half to 2/3 of PlayStations out there, or something along those lines, or maybe I forgot that game came out on PS4 as well, so I'm probably making it, hyping it up more than it is. But Miles Morales sold a lot of fucking copies of the game. I'm telling you, right now.
Yeah, man. So, awkward transition. densepixels.com/fans is where you can go to get invited to our Discord. We have a lot of channels on there. WrestleMania is coming up, and we have a wrestling channel. We even have a WrestleMania channel that hasn't been looked at since last year.
Since last WrestleMania.
Since last WrestleMania. But if you still watch wrestling has been kind of up and down. If I'm being very generous,
we'll have more on that in the post office.
Okay, all right, yeah. But yeah, hop on there and talk about wrestling with us and with all of your friends who listen to this show. Go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. When you do, click the bell notification icon to be notified as to when we drop a new video. Subscribe to all the TMP podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, Coming Distractions, and the weekly preview episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Go to densepixels.com/premium for $5 a month, $50 a year. You can access all of the other podcasts, all of the back catalog of podcasts that we have, including The Airing of Grievances, the first 7 seasons of Seinfeld, where Jay and I talk about that show and relate their wacky antics to things that happen in our life. No Time to Bleed, The Men with the Golden Tongues, which I kind of want to get back to in April. Mm-hmm. So we'll pick a date. Upstage Conversation and the full hour and a half, 2-hour-ish episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast.
Very cool. Some news that was not surprising to many people out there. Breath of the Wild announced today. First of all, I'm a little freaked out. Number one, of all this industry news that keeps getting announced like Tuesday morning. We're on like a really lucky streak right now that we haven't gotten stuff dropping on Wednesdays right after we got done recording the podcast. So I appreciate it. Keep that going. So yeah, Nintendo announced today Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out next year. It's going to miss the window. I was a little concerned about this when they announced the new Pokemon game that was coming out this fall. They don't usually like to have 2 giant tentpole releases coming out around the same time. So not much here. The reason I wanted to spin this off into a different conversation, though, even with Breath of the Wild being pushed to next year, Micah, I think that pound for pound, this might be the greatest slate of Game of the Year nominees that we've ever had in a single calendar year. Now, I'm obviously we're speculating on how good God of War is going to be and how good Starfield is going to be, and we're hoping that those games are good. But I can't think of a more stacked Game of the Year class that we're going to run up against this year. So if you I'm gonna the 4 that we're going with are obviously Horizon, Elden Ring, God of War, and Starfield. There'll be another game or two in that mix that we probably don't know yet what it's going to be. Tunic might get some nods. Who knows? Tunic's getting a lot of buzz out there right now.
You better put some respect on Forspoken's name.
Oh, it's a good joke, Micah. It's very good.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go back to 2014 because 2014 is when is how far the Game Award nominees go back, essentially. And I'm going to read you the slate of nominees each year, and you tell me if this is a stronger year than the year that we are likely to come up against. So 2014, you had Dragon Age Inquisition, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Shadow of Mordor were your nominees.
No, this year's better.
Next year, 2015, Witcher 3, Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear 5, Super Mario Maker.
I mean, Witcher 3 was a phenomenon. It was a really, really good game. If I had to compare it to Elden Ring, I mean, it's Elden Ring, guys.
Yeah.
Like, The Witcher tells a better story, but Elden Ring, The Witcher tells a more coherent story. Elden Ring is a better game.
Gotcha. 2016 was Overwatch, Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4.
Really?
Yeah. Not that there's any bad games in the mix there, but
Right.
that seems like kind of a down year for
That seems like a
general.
low year when
Yeah.
like there's a movie on that list. You know what I mean?
Let's see what else we got here. 2017. So 2017, looking at the nominees here, probably going to be, I don't know, 2018 is pretty good too. These are going to be probably the two stiffest competitions. So 2017, Breath of the Wild, Horizon 1, Persona 5, PUBG, Mario Odyssey.
All right, that's a strong year, man.
Yeah.
That's a strong year because you have a lot of different genres represented, and they are the pinnacle of what those genres represent. That's a strong year.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one. 2018, not to be outdone, God of War, Odyssey, Celeste, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead 2.
I mean, again, that's another really strong year with now there are more of the same type of genre in that class. But again, that is the AAA big budget video game like definition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Minus like Celeste, which is actually, like a games game, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you want spectacle, that is a hell of a year.
2019 is probably not going to get it. Sekiro, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Smash Brothers, and Outer Worlds.
Nah, that's a down year.
Yeah. 2020 was Last of Us Part 2, Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and Hades. It's a pretty decent year.
That's an okay year.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty decent. The wrong game won, of course. Fucking should have been Hades. Still bitter about it. And then 2021, definitely a down year. It Takes Two, Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, and Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, but this is a transition year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I don't know, man. Like I think 2018 might be the clubhouse leader. And it all hinges. It hinges on Starfield. I'm not even worried about God of War. It hinges on Starfield, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see. I'm not super. I'm excited for Starfield. I'm not super excited for Starfield just yet.
Yeah.
I need.
2017 though too. PUBG. I don't think PUBG is there because of the zeitgeist around it. Like I'm pretty sure we could find a better video game from 2017 than PUBG. So that PUBG's presence kind of mars that list. Like 2018, I don't think that there's a game on that list that doesn't deserve to be there. Especially some of those picks too, like Monster Hunter World being on that list has aged very well. I feel like as well in terms of that game. But I think it's 2018 until proven otherwise. But I feel like if any year is going to do it,
it's this year.
It's going to be this year. We've talked a lot about subscriptions on this show already. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about another subscription coming from Rockstar, who has announced that very soon Grand Theft Auto Online is going to get a subscription service called GTA Plus, which is going to be $6 a month. And it's going to get subscribers new items and bonuses such as in-game cash, upgrades, and special discounts within the game. And GTA Plus members will have access to even better shark cards to get a better bang for your buck when they decide to buy GTA microtransactions. This starts this week. And this is only for next gen, where they have made GTA Online available as a standalone game for the very first time, which is free to download right now. But I would imagine it's going to be a paid game at some point. I think they said 3 months it's going to be free, and then it's going to become a paid purchase for like $20. But here, if you get GTA Plus, here's what you get for this first month. You get 500K in-game cash. You get, I'm assuming the Principe Deveste 8 is a car, one would assume, with a couple extra liveries. You're going to get some gameplay updates at the Auto Shop in La Mesa. And you can relocate there at no additional cost if you're already set up somewhere else. Your car meet membership fees are waived. And if you already have it, you'll get reimbursed $50K in game. If you own a yacht, you can upgrade to the Aquarius Super Yacht at no additional cost. The Frog t-shirts and Prolapse basketball top and shorts are automatically added to your wardrobe. That pushed me over the edge, probably. You get a couple liveries for a few more vehicles in the game, selection of free paints and emblems for your cars. You get 3 times GTA dollars and, I guess, reputation on certain race series in the game, and 2 times your car meet rep in the street race series. You have to claim these rewards from vendors in the game or you'll lose them, which kind of seems obnoxious, but okay.
It's fucked up, man. Come on, dude.
And again, this is going to be a recurring subscription. It looks like every month they're going to have new stuff. But you'll still be able to play GTA Online for free, even if you don't buy this subscription. This is just if you want the extra goodies that comes along with this. I am not the right person to ask if this is a good value for money because I don't know anything about the economies of Grand Theft Auto Online.
I have to imagine that the economy in Grand Theft Auto Online is like some far-flung future, right? Where everything is just like where inflation has just taken over and everything is just like imagine like everything being paid in the style of the yen, but times 10. You know what I mean?
Well, they do give you $4 million right away when you first start playing.
Yeah, that don't.
Well, but you spend it all because you have to buy a car and you have to get like a bunker and you have to do this that or the other thing. So
yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know why I am surprised. I guess I shouldn't be, but I am very surprised that that GTA Online is the juggernaut that it is.
9 years it's been around, if you can believe that.
Almost. That is wild to me, man. Yeah. That is wild. Like that stuff like that is reserved for fantasy role playing games. And,
I mean, you could argue that Grand Theft Auto Online is itself a fantasy role playing game.
It is. It's just without the dragons and stuff, man. Yeah. Like it's wild, man. Like I didn't think when I picture MMOs, I don't picture the Grand Theft Auto set. You know what I mean? Like but and it's amazing because it's so big, but I have I jumped in for like a month, and I got bored, and it was I don't know, it just wasn't for me. But
it does seem so. From what I've understood and what I've observed from GTA Online so far, it is one of the most dependent on having people to play with, like online games that are out there. Like I don't know how much fun there is to be had if you're just running around by yourself.
Well, that ain't me.
Yeah, it's not me either. Like in most MMOs, you can at least like play through the content and do stuff solo. Like they cater to solo play. I'm sure there is stuff to do in GTA solo play. I don't know that any of it's fun. It really does seem like a game that the most fun I've seen people have playing it is when they're playing with their friends.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I have no urge to try it at all. Like zero.
No, not at all.
So.
It's not. This isn't worth it. And it's not like that. I think I would get excited for it. Like, no, like it's not one of those things where it's like, don't play it because you'll get hooked, and then that's all you'll want to play. Nope. Nope.
I think if you're buying Shark Cash every month in the game, like that's probably a good value. You know what I mean? Like I think if I recall correctly, if my GameStop memory serves, I think a $500,000 shark card was like $5 anyway. So for like $2 more, you're getting a whole bunch of extra shit in the game that I assume you're playing, plus a better rate if you do buy additional shark cards. So I guess it's good for that. Again, the amount of money they're making on this game is probably sickening on a year-to-year basis. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Speaking of people making a sickening amount of money,
I didn't even mean to stick up for that, but that worked out nice.
denspixels.com/Amazon. Amazon are the people making the sickening amounts of money. Let's put that out there right now.
It's definitely not
it
us.
ain't us. I mean, if you want to help, if you want to throw a couple of bums, some change, go to denspixels.com/Amazon with all your Amazon purchases. When you do, you'll be able to buy whatever nonsense you want, and we get a little bit of a finder's fee, a very, very small amount. So please buy big. I don't. For once, my wife has not recently bought anything, so I can't give you an example of what you should buy at denspixels.com/Amazon. Oh no, wait, she did. You can buy yourself a Born to Love boys and kids pre-tied adjustable bow tie Easter holiday party dress up in black, green, and blue. You can get that for $12.98 when you go to denspixels.com/Amazon.
Micah just found out what his son is wearing to Easter service this year.
I legitimately just found out.
Kids in bow ties are a great match. Bow ties look cute on kids and cute on old men, and they don't look good on anyone else. So
no, they don't. Even unless you're selling bean pies on Wabash Avenue, then maybe. But,
or if you're wearing a tux, like that's the only stuff. And even then, like who's wearing a tux nowadays and not doing a necktie vest combination? Come on,
exactly. I
can't tell you the last time I wore a bow tie.
I've never worn a bow tie. I've never worn a bow tie at all.
When's the last time? So if I'm not counting, so our jazz band uniform in high school was like a wine colored vest and bow tie combination. So I'm not counting that because that to me is just like standard dress. The last time I legit wore a bow tie was probably when I was a ring bearer in one of my cousin's weddings. pretty sure, because even in my prom I wore like a necktie, because even at the ripe young age of 15 I was like, this is the way to go. Clearly,
yeah. So. I'm not some old man. I'm not some baby. Get out of here.
There's a few new games coming out this week. We have our games with gold for the month of April. Look, it's not a great month. There's a game called Another Sight that's available. Hue, which is another one of these 2D platformers, which I played. Hue is not good. I got bored of Hue within like the first hour that I played it, and I spent money on that game. Outpost Kalaki X is a 360 game that's coming out, which I've never heard of. And then MX vs. ATV Alive is also available for the 360. So there's your games with gold. As far as new games that are coming out, the new Lost Judgment DLC is coming out to PlayStation and Xbox. The Kaito Files. Abermore comes to PC. Crusader Kings 3 is coming to next generation console. In Nightmare comes to PS4. WRC 10 makes its way to Switch. The Death Stranding Director's Cut comes to PC. Koromon comes to PC and Switch. Fix Fox comes to PC. Midnight Ghost Hunt comes to PC. Pirates of Gravite comes to PC. And Weird West comes to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. I knew this was on Game Pass. I didn't realize it was coming out to PlayStation as well. So,
Weird West.
Yeah, so this is a new immersive sim from a few people that used to work at Arcane that worked on Dishonored.
Never mind.
Well, but it's a top down isometric game though, which is interesting. So
Okay.
it looks cool. It looks interesting to me. So we'll see if I end up getting around to that. I know it's on Game Pass, so if I have time between Elden Ring and Gran Turismo, which is unlikely, then I'll check that out as well. To the Dense Pixels post office we go. Film Wanderer asks, with the announcement of Triple H officially retiring from in-ring competition, what is your favorite moment from the Cerebral Assassin?
So Triple H is one of those guys that's like I like Triple H, but I'm not like I'm not one of those people that's still hung up on like the Booker T thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the
Oh
same
man,
time,
I was going to
like,
call it WrestleMania 19 as my favorite Triple H. I'm kidding. I don't want Malcolm to come through the fucking speakers.
Yeah, Triple H is one of those guys where he's like he's always stood out, but he's never stood out for me. Like he's not he doesn't have the he's an almost got it guy. Like he doesn't have the swagger that Stone Cold had. He doesn't have, but he's got swagger. He doesn't have the vocal chops that The Rock has, but he's not bad on the mic. He doesn't have the presence that Shawn Michaels has, but he does have presence. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like ironically, he is the B plus player. Like there's always someone who's just better than him. But like if you're picking teams and you want, it's a game of 2-on-2 and you get first pick, you're gonna pick the other guy first, and then you'll settle for Triple H.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I have like a favorite moment, because he's had some really like fucked up moments.
That's true.
What was it, Katie Vick, and hey, wouldn't it be fun if I drugged your daughter and then married her? And like, it's just weird, like the Attitude Era was real fucking weird.
It's funny that you say that, because come to think of it, like if you go back and look at all of Triple H's like best matches, right? Like all the tentpole match of his career, there's not a single person, there's not a single match I can think of among his best where he elevated the other person. Usually it's the other way around. Usually it's someone that's elevating him to an excellent match. Which is interesting, and it's something I never really paused to consider at any point. Because like a lot of the matches where Triple H has been like the guy leading the dance have been relatively forgettable. Like Chris Jericho and him at WrestleMania 18 was a relatively forgettable match. Like I don't remember almost anything from that match, and it was the fucking main event of that card. For me, my favorite Triple H moment, easily, the Hell in a Cell match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 28, which was one of the I was fully bought in matches. Like I thought it was well played out. I thought it was legit that they were going to end the streak, including like the famous moment where Shawn Michaels super kicks The Undertaker into a pedigree. Shawn Michaels is the referee, by the way, in the match, for those that forget. And so you're like, it's over now. Like Jim Ross is like, not like this. And then and Undertaker kicks out at like 2 3/4. And the entire fucking stadium, the notoriously quiet stadium crowds, because the noise doesn't get captured, was like as loud as I've ever heard them. And like Shawn Michaels was like freaked out and fell back into the corner. And then like the three of them all walking out together was a pretty cool moment as well. So that for me is my favorite Triple H moment of all time, for sure.
Yeah, it's. I know this guy is like persona non grata, but before we found out that he was a sex pest and an asshole, Max Landis did a YouTube like video essay about wrestling, and and it centered around Triple H, and it was super interesting in like that annoying like Max Landis kind of way.
Hmm.
But it was good. I'm not gonna say it wasn't good just because I don't care for the guy, but I did enjoy it. And if you got 20 minutes, it sums up my feelings on Triple H, but without the love that he has for Triple H,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Well, and I will say too, like my appreciation for Triple H has grown by leaps and bounds
Yeah, yeah,
watching the development of NXT essentially,
yeah,
and
yeah.
hearing
Like,
from people that he's helped shepherd along, and that he's given shots to, and that he's helped develop, and things of that nature. There's a huge outpouring of support from folks, that came up through the developmental system while he was running it, and it's a fucking shame that he seems to have pretty much kind of gotten pushed out of that
yeah,
by
man.
the
Like his
powers that be.
whole like that was his creation, right?
Right.
And they just kind of dismantled, and they did it dirty too, man. Like the guy had a cardiac event or whatever you want to call it, and they just decided, you know what? Let's just take this from out from under him, dismantle, but break it down, and then build it back up into something unrecognizable. Like, don't get me wrong, just because I think Triple H is the B plus player, that doesn't mean that like I don't have a lot of respect for that dude.
Hmm.
Because he pays it forward, and he helps people, and he from all reports, he is the guy that really loves the business of professional wrestling,
Hmm.
and he's like the best player coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, he didn't start that way. Like people are going to be quick to point out like the
Yeah, he
quote
was a
unquote reign
fucking
of
asshole.
terror. Yeah, which
Right.
I get. I get. Like I totally understand it. But people can change and mature. Like you like the guy
Right.
that you were 20 years ago is not necessarily be the guy that you are today.
People
Um
trip me out with that shit, man.
they
Like
do.
you like it's like you were the same way. Like nah, man. The person I was in the '90s is very much different from the person I am now.
Yeah.
Like I am ashamed of that. Which
And
is
again,
why when people are
I
like,
get if you like I get if people want to hold that against him still, and like if they can't get past that. I understand that, but you can't out of hand discount what came later just because you don't like the guy
yeah, you
now.
gotta you
Yeah.
gotta try to judge people as a whole, man. Not just for the good they did, not just for the bad they did, but like as a whole, man.
Yeah. Uh John asks, with WrestleMania being less than a week away, do you give a shit? Now,
You know, I
I did not realize this was in the post office when I responded, because I thought it was just in the general thread. I wasn't paying attention. So I gave a response, but now I can elaborate on this response. I'm probably not watching it live this year. I'll be honest. Like I'm not in the mood for 2 nights and 6 hours of a WWE show with the way the product has been over the past couple of months. I'm just not excited for it. And there's a couple matches that seem like they're going to be cool, that have good builds. But I'm not excited for it. Like people are getting hype about like fucking Seth Rollins and probably Cody Rhodes, and I'm just not excited for that. I don't want Seth Rollins to lose to Cody Rhodes, but he's going to.
so I usually keep wrestling on in the background.
Hmm.
Like it's no longer. It used to be appointment television for me, even during like and I'm not talking about just like the Attitude Era stuff. I'm talking about like a couple of months ago. Like I used to just watch it, and now I just kind of keep it on in the background. And now I've found myself not watching on Fridays,
Hmm.
and now I've found myself not even keeping it on in the background on Mondays. Like I had no idea that wrestling was on last night, and
Yeah.
and wrestling has been coming on Monday nights for 30 fucking years, and it just didn't affect me. Like I get all my wrestling news from YouTube now,
Hmm.
and so I'm so to answer the question, I'm not exactly excited about Mania, but I will keep it on in the background. I'll probably be playing Elden Ring on my main monitor. I'll have I'll have wrestling on in a window on one of these two monitors, and yeah, I'm just not super excited for it. like because WWE isn't going to give me what I want, and all I want is matches that don't end with shenanigans.
Well, not only that, but like, say what you will, and again, I know they're trying, and I don't hate Baron Corbin, but like, look where like Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley were last year, and
Yeah.
look at where they are this year. Like Drew McIntyre's been in this like shit feud with Baron Corbin for several months. Bobby Lashley lost his belt and got written off TV, and he comes back so he can fight Omos. Really? Like is that like that's what we're doing with Bobby Lashley? Like Bobby Lashley finally pulled himself up to be the main event, like to be a legitimate main eventer and someone that I was excited to come out and watch wrestle in the main event, and now he's fighting a fucking, no disrespect to Omos, but like I can't see a dude that's like 7'5" and just not assume that he's like a sideshow act essentially.
Yeah,
wrestling.
he's. I mean, like this is part of the carny thing that WWE does,
Yeah.
right? Like because they want that like airport thing, right? Where you see him in the airport and you do a double take, right? Like, I don't mind like I don't mind that, but like yo, you got to work too, man. Like,
And that's the
like
thing,
you
like
can't-
like I haven't seen an Omos singles match. I'm assuming that his moveset is a lot of clotheslines, probably some body slams, probably like beeling a guy across the ring, and
body slams are kind of pushing it, Brad. Body slams are kind of pushing it. It's a lot of throwing little guys around, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen almost lock up.
right.
Like like it's him lumbering around, and it's like a video game boss, Like
Yeah. And again, like Bobby Lashley should murder this guy in
why is this
WrestleMania.
gonna be why is this gonna be a match, yo? This should be the quickest match ever. But
And like Bianca Becky Lynch, I'm gonna make time for, and go back and watch that because they're building that match nicely, and that's cool to see. I'm not excited to watch Ronda Rousey wrestle against Charlotte Flair. I'm really not.
yeah,
I'm really not.
I'm not.
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a fine match because Charlotte Flair can carry anyone to a good match, but I'm not excited to see it at all.
I'm excited from the point of like you get to see Ronda on a big stage in an actual one-on-one match,
Yeah.
right? Whereas the last time they were at WrestleMania, it was a three-way, and didn't really want that.
Mhm.
But I'm excited to see what she does, but like not enough to like hold my attention from like killing a dragon.
Yeah,
I
get it. So unfortunate all around. And again, like, I've got zero interest in NXT now. Like all the people that I like in NXT are not there anymore, really.
NXT is a shit show, man. Yeah. NXT is a legit soap opera now.
Yeah,
like it's a soap opera with like wrestling in it. Like there's one character who's just like the gimmicks, like these are Street Fighter gimmicks, man. like these are
like the fucking like the Italian guy that literally goes around like, oh, forget about it, like that fucking dude.
Man. Yeah, man, like it is back to the fucking 80s, like with Spark E plug and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just a clown show, man.
Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And then finally Cam asks, Seth's opponent has been revealed while he is in the ring at WrestleMania. If you had to rank your top 3 Cody alternates for this spot, who would they be, and why is Shane McMahon number 1? I don't need to see Shane McMahon on my television ever again, much less in a singles match.
Yeah, no, man. I don't need to.
Who would be my top 3? So I'm assuming Cam wants realistic alternatives, like not like I can't say like Adam Cole because Adam Cole's in AEW.
People in WWE.
Okay.
Or if you know anybody that's between companies right now, and I don't look. I think.
Okay. So Johnny Gargano would be number 1 probably, or he's in the top 3 at least.
Yeah.
Because he's between companies technically.
Yeah, technically he is.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I don't I don't know, man. Like Seth has kind of been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
Um and he's really good. Like I find him and his character a bit annoying, but like I understand that that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad at it's not go away heat for me. Um but whereas Becky is just go away heat, but never mind. Um yeah, he's kind of been around the block a few times, so I don't. I'm actually excited to see. I'm actually excited to see him and Cody kind of go at it, just to just to see how Cody kind of readjusts to the WWE style. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like AEW style is a little more hard hitting and a little more loosey goosey. Whereas I feel Seth feels like a guy who choreographs everything in his matches to me.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how these two kind of mesh. Also, I think the real question is: does Cody come out with his WWE? Whoa, you smoke mirrors, or does he come out with like there's more than one wrestling royal family? Like what does he come out at? What does he come out to? Or does he come out to whatever the fuck Stardust came out to? I don't know.
What if he came out to the Dusty Rhodes theme? The WWE. He's just
Yeah.
a common man.
Trivia note.
Yeah.
That's on my workout jogging list.
I mean, it's got a good beat. Like I'm not gonna fault you for it.
I like that song.
I'm
man.
not gonna fault
I
you
like
for it. Oh, man, make a dream. It's a good song. Like I said, shit gimmick, but a good song. Classic WWE theme. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Johnny Gargano is the only person that I would want to see in that spot that could be in it. I honestly can't think of anyone else. Partially because my attunedness with the industry is at an all time low right now.
Yeah.
But also just because I can't think of anybody else that it would be.
Yeah.
Any like Forbidden Door candidates, like any like fucking Impact people that they can sensibly bring in for this shit. I don't even know who's in Impact, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Mickey James. That's all I. That's what WWE told me.
You know what would be. You know what would be an awesome fucking match, actually? And a cool surprise, and like it's not possible to happen. But because of who he is, and because of the current gimmick that he's rocking in AEW, there's like a 0.5% possibility. If like Chris Jericho were to somehow like come in one night only just to wrestle Seth Rollins. That would be pretty cool.
Well, now that he stopped drinking and doesn't have that god awful
beard, look at that. Get back on the DDP yoga and lay off the sauce and not be neck deep in fucking government conspiracy theories, and you too can get your work off that weight. So not that I'm one to talk, but
no. Chris Jericho was looking rough there for a while, but now he looks like a superstar.
Yeah. So that, like I said, not possible, but like there's a 0.0001 chance possibility that could happen. It would be really cool if it did. That is it for the post office, which means that is it for the show. So yeah, don't expect like your typical WrestleMania recap next week from us.
Yeah, no,
because we're just not feeling. We haven't been feeling the WWE this for the last year or so. And it's their fault, quite frankly. Make sure you still go to densepixels.com/fans, join the Discord. I'm sure that you guys in the Discord that are watching WrestleMania will be in the chat while it's going on, so you guys can talk amongst yourselves about the happenings that are going on the screen. Make sure you subscribe to this show and all the other shows wherever you get fine podcasts out there in the world. Make sure you follow us on YouTube by going to youtube.com/densepixels and click the subscribe button. Make sure you go to twitch.tv/densepixels to follow the channel there. Me and Jay are still trying in vain to figure out the login information for the Dense Pixels Twitch account, because we don't know what email address it's linked to, which is unfortunate. But we're gonna figure that out so we can start using the fucking thing. And then also make sure you follow us individually. I'm Dense Pixels Brad. Carrie Suppets Carrie. Terrence is Apparition 410. Micah does not use Twitch because he would never do it if he even if he had it. So he doesn't have it.
Mine is I do have it. It's Dense Black Nerd, but I'm not gonna get on and just start talking, right? Like that's not my personality.
Yeah.
If one of these guys gets on Twitch and they want to play some games, then I will be more than happy to come on and we can yuck it up, have some witty banter while you watch us play some video game.
Yeah. If we can figure out the login, I do plan on streaming, at least trying to do like the watch along with the F1 races. Not next race, because next race is in Australia, which means that it's airing at 1:00 in the morning Eastern time. So that one I'm not going to be watching live, unfortunately. But we'll look into doing it possibly after that going forward. So we'll see what happens there. Or will I stay up until 3 a.m.?
I mean, I feel like staying up from 1 to 3
is a bit much.
Relatively. It's a bit much, but it's doable.
It's on a Saturday, like Saturday into Sunday.
Oh, it's on a Saturday? Yeah, you don't work Saturdays and Sundays? No,
yeah.
You can do it.
So,
it was a school night.
Regardless, not doing the watch along at 1:00 in the morning. That I can promise you. Regardless of whether I decide to watch the race live or not, or do the adult thing and just catch the replay in the morning. We'll see. That's it for us. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening. We'll see you all the next time.
See you.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.